Thank you, Dr. Smitha, the organizers, the technical team, for giving this opportunity to express my views and observations of the Indian migrants in Gulf. Good morning, everyone. Since pandemic, we hear and read the plights and exodus of migrant workers in urban India. Similarly, the migrant workers in the Gulf states were severely crippled by the impact of COVID pandemic and closure of economies and the international borders. So let me share my screen, excuse me. So it's a huge crisis the Indian migrants are facing, but I would like to address the key issues pertaining to the present situation. So I would like to touch upon the pre-existing or persisting vulnerabilities, the pandemic perils, and the role of source and the host countries and the international organizations with a few policy recommendations. So when we look into the GCC countries, which started to diversify their economy, it attracted huge foreigners to work in different sectors because of the less population of the native citizens. India is one among the major labor-centering countries because of the higher dependence on labors from different countries. The GCC has made a very stringent labor laws, and because of this COVID pandemic, which pushed lockdown and closure of economies, the Indian migrants, they lost their jobs, did not get their salaries, along with deteriorating living and working conditions. So under such circumstances, the international organizations, the NGOs, and the Indian government, along with the GCC states, have declared few safety measures for the migrant workers. Coming to the persisting vulnerabilities, the more common practice in GCC states is to have a kafil, that is a sponsor. It can be an individual or a company to bring in a foreign migrant worker in the state, mainly on a contract basis, which can be renewed and or can be terminated. So it's a kind of a temporary migration which leads the migrants to return back once they're done with the GCC countries. And because of this sponsorship system, it gives more leverage for the kafil to take control of the migrants. For example, the unlawful confiscation of passports and filing absconding charges, etc. Though majority of the Indians, they migrate through proper channel, there are many who goes on a visit visa and try to get work permit or residence permit upon reaching the destination. If they could not accomplish it, they tend to be illegal residents. The other major problem faced by the migrants is through the recruiting agents who are mostly unregistered or having sub-agents with higher charges, and in most cases trafficked women migrants through informal network of recruitment. So upon landing, there arise other problems of contract switching, trading, wage theft by the employers, poor working and living conditions. Though such unlawful activities are happening to the migrant workers, the labor laws or the legal systems in GCC are totally unsupportive. Adding to the above issues, the nationalization of the workforce initiated by the GCCs, they grabbed the opportunities available for the Indian migrants. So I would say that the pandemic compounded the pre-existing vulnerabilities for the millions of the migrant workers in the region. Since the start of the pandemic, thousands of migrant workers have been repatriated to India, many of them hurriedly and without proper protocol in place. And taking the advantage of this mass deportation moves, many employers who terminated their workers without paying them their legitimate wages, compensations, and benefits, leaving hundreds of Indian workers returning empty-handed. As per the contract signed, the employer has to give the end of service or the gratuity benefits, air tickets for return if they complete the contract. But it is not done during the pandemic. And among the Indian migrants, the worst affected are those in the sectors of construction, airports and service sectors, health workers, and domestic helpers. So when we divide the migrants into those who have already completed the contract and about to get it renewed or closed, their end of service benefit or the air ticket or the other remunerations were not paid. Similarly, those who have just arrived before the pandemic, they are the worst affected because of the higher recruiting charges for which they have mostly borrowed and could not get the promised job or salary in the Gulf. So they are luring in Gulf without job or salary. So all the GCC countries have no health insurance coverage for its migrants to access the public or private hospitals. And particularly during this pandemic period, the migrants, they can access hospitals only in the afternoon when it is reserved for locals in the morning. So this has accumulated or denied the access for migrants for health benefits. And the most vulnerable situation is the absconding charges or the runaway complaints against the workers by the employers, which halted the repatriation of them by the authorities. And many governments, where many GCC states were given the rights to complain absconding charges or hurub against the workers who has not complied or who has not followed the rules or abused or faced any problem with the employer. Coming to the living condition. Looking into the living condition, most of the labor camps were crampy with more number of workers per room, leading to a higher rate of COVID-19 infection. And most of them were unable to access the medical care. The number of COVID-19 tests done on workers were very minimal, and those were taken for testing were mainly relocated, or they were taken to the makeshift centers or detention centers or deportation centers where the condition of the living space was very, very unhygienic without the basic amenities provided to them. So as part of the contract, every migrant is entitled for food and accommodation allowance, but it is denied since pandemic set in. Adhering the rules, the government authorities, they disconnected the water and the electricity for those accommodations, which is crowded without giving any alternate housing facilities. So this has compounded to the migrants to live in crampy rooms. So this social distancing during the COVID-19 pandemic had caused an increase in stress, anxiety, depression, and generating an urgent need to manage the lack of access to mental health care therapy and treatment. So coming to the role of different stakeholders, when we look into the host countries, the GCC countries, they have given impunity mainly to the employers. So they have given the right to lay off for the employers in all over the GCC countries. But at the same time, they have given access or they have given the time to renew or extend their visas or work permit and residence permit. Coming to Bahrain, which it has given amnesty, the visit visa. In practice, however, the amnesty only pardons fines levied for expired work permits. So migrants, but with absconding charges and travel bans, are still not allowed to leave the country. Those who have worked with their employer for less than a year are still not allowed to change jobs without the employer's consent, even if they're victims of wage theft or abuse. So they are not covered under the amnesty. And UAE, they have announced for an early leave. That means the worker can leave early and come back to UAE with a consent with the employer, taking into account not breaking the earlier contract which was signed with the employer. Similarly, Saudi Arabia, they had extended the visit visa and the residence permit, while Oman had involved in aggressive nationalization of the workforce, not getting or not wooing the migrant workers. They have entered into the nationalization of its workforce. But Qatar has influenced 75 billion rial of stimulus package for those companies who has to pay the migrant workers their salaries and other remunerations. And Kuwait also has announced amnesty and special flights to repatriate migrant workers. And coming to India, the major origin country, it has repatriated most of the migrants through the Vande Bharat mission under the Ministry of External Affairs. And the mission is in its sixth phase, which ends in October 24. Also, it has announced Swadesh, a joint initiative of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, and the Ministry of External Affairs. It is aimed to create a database of qualified citizens based on their skill sets and experience to fulfill the demand of Indian and foreign companies, but no clarity whether unskilled workers under ECR category is recorded or not. So in April 2020, a coalition of 16 NGOs and trade unions, they co-signed letters and sent to the Gulf states calling on them to take steps to ensure that migrant workers receive adequate protection from COVID-19. So with all this persisting and pandemic problems, I would like to suggest few policy initiatives to make the Gulf migration a more safe and easy corridor. Looking at the recent steep oil price decline and the reforms to pivot the economy away from the hydrocarbon revenues, several economic diversifications of Gulf real estate's mega projects, close to 1.6 trillion of investments, including the Vision 2013 Saudi Arabia, Silk City in Kuwait, Lusail City and stadiums for 2022 World Cup in Qatar, and Duqm Port in Oman, and Expo 20 in UAE. Experts and economists project for a big demand in labor market. While world economies have slowly started to open and contain the COVID impact, remigration to the GCC is far largely expected. So it is high time we reframe the laws and policies to promote and protect Gulf migration. So as a country of origin, being a major source of a country of migrants, India has to take a bold step towards the safety and protection of its migrants. Under Vande Bharat mission, only a quarter of those applied for repatriation were lifted, leaving a huge number of applicants still waiting to return home. So steps has to be taken to repatriate the stranded migrants. And based on the travel history proof, I would suggest that the Indian government should announce an economic package for returned migrants to save them from the debt bondage. And under the safety net policy, self-employment schemes has to be announced for returned migrants or to be absorbed into the labor market. Also, I imply on an MOU to be signed with the GCC on easing the process of recruitment by shifting to e-recruitment. Along with all this, and the Indian missions abroad has to be equipped with programs and personnel to address the migrant issues, and the government has to frame a separate migration policy for ECR category. From the destination side, the GCC should scrap all the recruiting charges which falls on the migrants' shoulder to encourage remigration, as we said that there is a huge demand for laborers. Also, looking at the nature of development model, I would suggest that the GCC country should frame a similar labor law to avoid confusions among foreign labor migration. And the kafala system of recruitment has to be completely reformed to liberalize the labor market. There is a dire need to build more spacious labor camps and a mandatory COVID-19 insurance for health, and travel has to be made for the migrants. With this, I end my talk. Thank you, everyone.